Hey, what's going on, guys? Today's going to be all about audio recording. I'm going to show you several practices that you can use on how to get the best quality results of what you currently have. And then I'll show you how, if you have a little bit of money to spend, how to get the better results and upgrade your equipment to get professional quality or what's considered professional quality results. I'm going to be looking to my right again, your left, because I have a few notes. I want to be very brief but detailed. We're going to look at 4 different types of mic. First being the lavalier microphone that's currently on my collar. This microphone is used when you want to get good quality audio, but you don't want the microphone seen. I wanted you to see the microphone. You can see it if you want to in frame or whatever, but typically they're used out of frame just to capture a great sounding piece of audio, and you don't have to necessarily see the microphone. We're going to move over next to the shotgun microphone. Let me turn that on for you. Now we're listening to the Sennheiser 416, which is another highly used microphone in conjunction with lavalier microphones on film sets. And that's because they're very, very directional, which means this is a super cardioid or hypercardioid pickup pattern, which means it narrows the focus area of which whatever you're pointing at, that's what it's going to pick up the most. And then if there's room noise or background noise, it rejects that or does a better job at rejecting that. And that's what this sounds like. Let's move on now to the large diaphragm condenser microphone. You can use these 9 times out of 10. If you go into a recording studio, you're going to see a microphone like this. It's not necessarily this particular microphone, but this type of microphone, which means it has they come in various pickup patterns, but the most common is usually going to be the cardioid pickup pattern. They call it cardio, literally cardio is cardioid, but it's a heart-shaped pickup pattern that picks up mostly from the front and does a better job of rejecting from the back. This is great because it captures a very, very large frequency range usually from 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz is what you'll get from that. And that means that you can utilize the proximity effect, which is when the closer you get to the microphone like this, you get more bass response. But the further away, you get a lot more clarity and a little bit more openness and air, as they call it in the audio world. But the frequency response is what makes this a good choice for many applications. Let's move on now to probably in my opinion, the most likely and most used microphone around the world, everywhere. This is a handheld dynamic microphone. This is the Shure SM58, but you can use whatever you have available. I'm going to show you some tips and tricks on how to EQ and use compression to get the best results out of these type of microphones. So they're very likely the most commonly used type of microphone simply because of first off, the price point. A condenser microphone can range anywhere between $300 to $3,000 when you get into like the Neumann U87s. But this microphone will run you around $100 roughly. It's the best bang for your buck. I would highly recommend this for podcasts, voiceovers, any type of spoken word stuff, because you can utilize the proximity effect, which means the closer you get up on the microphone, I apologize about this, the more bass response you're going to get. And a lot of radio hosts use this technique to get that big boomy voice. It is a very, very good option because it helps you achieve clarity. You get the depth from the low end, but you don't get the harsh top end as you would if you had to boost your high frequencies on a condenser microphone. These are just a few options you can use and choose from to get better results. Now let's jump over into our DAW so I can show you how to use EQ and compression to get even better results after you get a clean recording. After recording, open up whatever software you have available to you. There are many free options that will more than suffice to offer the tools to make the adjustments we're going to make here. Open up your digital audio workstation, create a new track, and import the recorded audio. In the track section, right-click and you'll likely be presented with several options. You're looking for audio effects. Some applications will say effects bin or audio processors. Once you've located your effects, you want to grab 2 things, a parametric EQ and a compressor. The EQ will allow us to not only shape the tone of our recording, but to remove or cut any unwanted and problematic frequencies. For this example, I'm only going to be showing you the frequency ranges that are generally applied to dialogue, as your microphone choice, placement of that microphone, as well as the space you have to record may vary drastically, requiring a different EQ curve to be applied. After EQ, search for a compressor. Sometimes this will be under a tab called Dynamics, and that's exactly what we'll be adjusting. In short, a compressor listens to the incoming signal, and based upon the settings and style of the compressor you choose, it decreases the audible difference between the loud and quiet pieces of the audio. Now that you have a compressor in the signal chain, there are 4 areas that work in conjunction to create the effect that you hear. The threshold determines at what level the incoming signal gets compressed or turned down. The ratio represents the amount of reduction applied to the signal when the signal passes the previously set threshold level. For example, a ratio of 2:1 means that for every 2 dB the signal rises above the threshold, the compressor will increase the output by 1 decibel. Next, you have your attack and release settings. The attack determines how quickly the compression happens. Then you have your release setting. The release setting determines how fast or slow the signal returns back to normal before being compressed again. Scratching your head yet? Don't worry, in the next segments I'll discuss in detail how to help you understand and determine the threshold and ratio settings for your recorded audio. Thank you for watching. Until next time, stay inspired.